worlds beyond our own. Dimensions we can't see. But what if something crosses over? What if they're already here? Welcome back to Alternate Lanes.
Today, we're going to be talking about our friend Duke Sullivan from World Bigfoot Central, how we happened upon him, and our first episode with him.
I guess I can't say we, Dennis. You're the one that met him.
Yeah, I did.
You want to just give a short story of how you met Duke from Bigfoot Central?
Yeah, kind of interesting. So, my buddy Rich, I hope you're watching, Rich. So, he sent me a text message with a picture of a person measuring what looked like Bigfoot print in the dirt. And a little article that said that this guy was looking for another researcher to go out in the field with. And Rich is like, this might be fun. And I'm like, I'll try it. So, I sent Duke an email and told him that I've been interested in Bigfoot and the entire paranormal scene since the 70s. And he's like, well, I've been a researcher since the 70s, so sure, I'll take you out. All right, cool. So that was it. And he has now become a great friend of me and Jared in the show. And
So you met Duke on Craigslist?
On Craigslist, that was it. It was a Craigslist ad.
The funny thing is, I used to scroll through Craigslist all the time back in the day. Personal ads, free ads. Like, you find jobs on there, find free stuff on there. It's so awesome.
I found my first acting job on Craigslist.
Oh, Craigslist back in the day. Such a good website. But it's grown into a beautiful relationship as far as our channels go and our expertise. Us not knowing much of the Bigfoot realm.
Well, yeah, like...
Because, like, that boots on the ground.
I was never a boots on the ground investigator until we started, well, I mean, I have, but not in Bigfoot, not in the UFO community, it's a whole nother subject, but I had gotten into mediumship and doing readings, tarot cards a long time ago, but as far as actually boots on the ground investigation, field, looking for Bigfoot, looking for UFOs, and all that kind of stuff, it is something I've wanted to be able to do my entire life, and it isn't until recently that I've been able to do that. So going out with Duke, I think you and me have both learned a lot from Duke about what to look for, the structure, signs, funky trees, and just the way that if that doesn't look natural, we should park the car, get out and go look.
Mm-hmm. So on your first investigation with him, this is your first time meeting him, and I had some family obligations, so I couldn't make it on these two investigations. So we do have an episode of that investigation. It was two separate investigations combined into one episode. However, it was Bigfoot oriented.
Right.
That's what the whole episode was about. So just briefly, how was your experience going on your first Bigfoot hunt investigation?
Well, I thought it was great. It was a little bit awkward, I think, for both me and Duke, because, Duke's a great guy and everything, but I didn't know him. He didn't know me.
Just strangers.
Just two...
searching for cryptids.
Two weirdos walking around in the forest
meeting each other on Craigslist.
Exactly. So I don't think either one of us really know what to expect. Out of
exactly.
I mean, try and imagine yourself answering an ad for a guy that wants to go out and hunt Bigfoot, and you're like the guy, well, that sounds cool, let's go hunt Bigfoot. And the guy that actually made the ad's probably like, oh my God, what have I done? Right?
What did I do? Who's going to answer this ad?
Right. I mean, but it turned out great. I learned a lot from Duke. The first place that we went to was Coloma, just down from Garnett Ghost Town. I could definitely feel some presence and some stuff around there, but I didn't know exactly what to expect. And Duke had found a couple of prints, and I thought they were extremely interesting. There was a couple of small prints.
Well, in the video, since I watched that video over and over and over and over since I edited it, you could see from the wider angle, like the outline of the footprints. They're not these distinguishable ones that you could cast, like the ones that some see on television. But they were from someone that has seen enough of these footprints can say, hey, that's most likely, a print.
Right.
That has,
Right.
like, okay,
Well, so the first time going out with Duke, I mean, I had my cell phone, but I didn't record anything. Duke had his camera. We did a little bit of recording with his camera, but it wasn't until the next time when I took Jen along. Because the first time I went out was just kind of to meet Duke and just, go out in the field and walk around and assess each other, right?
It's like, if you really think about it, it's a weird situation. You're like, you just meet each other online, and you're like just two grown male adults that are like,
do you want to go hunt a Bigfoot?
you want to go, and trying to be like, is this person legit? Is this person just trying to yank my chain? Like, is this person like just want to go hiking?
Right. Exactly. So that was it. We went out, we did that, and we kind of determined, okay, I'm not a threat, he's not a threat, we're both kind of cool, so we can do this. So then the next time out was with Jen.
So going on these hunts, and then you actually found some evidence without giving too much away in this episode. There was some structures. There were some things that were discovered. Have you ever seen these kind of things before?
Only on television, not in the field. And when you're out there, it could be mistaken for natural tree fall until you really start looking at the structures of it. When you start really paying attention, then you realize, wait a minute, it was made, not just tree fall. Did I answer your question or no? Edit that part out.
That works.
Okay, I was just like, I don't know.
No, it's as far as experience what you experienced. I'm the one that reviewed all the footage and put the episode together. Just seeing, especially the structure. You're like, okay, tree fall, this and that. I would love to go back up there again. To go see. To investigate it some more, more intensely. But like seeing trees that were of the size that were leaning against another tree and the size that it was and all this stuff. So I'm like, wow, that's pretty intense, just visually. Like visually, that's a pretty hard one to explain. So being able to see that, because I wasn't there, was like, okay, that's the prints, the structures. I'm like, that's some pretty good evidence.
Yeah.
And then hearing stuff as well. So just, me not really experienced so much myself, but yet trusting you and Duke and with your experience, seeing this evidence is unexplainable, for me to be like, okay, what more can we capture?
The biggest unexplainable thing when you start looking at those structures, and because your mind does, it's like, well, that could just be tree fall, heavy snow weight on trees will bend trunk, ... But then when you start looking at it and you realize that the tree that you're looking at, the root system may still be on the tree, but there's no hole in the ground from where the root system was or should have been for it to just fall over. And then you see some of the other logs that are snapped off, but there's no trunk or root system from where should have snapped off and fell from. So if there's no trunk and no root system from where it should have fallen, how did it get it? It have picked up and carried. Well, if it's a 2,000-pound log and a couple of dudes carrying that.
See, like in those situations, like my skeptical brain goes to like, a lot of things come down to a matter of numbers. So if there's more condensed forest in that area, there's more trees that could die and they could fall, that could pile stuff up. But if you see the root systems that are not there, then yeah, that right there is just kind of a unexplainable stuff. And then even like trees that were like shoved down, and I know like the wind can blow trees and make stuff shift, but when there's like fresh damage to the tree from like scraping of the bark and stuff. See, for me, it's like, all right, I wasn't there, so therefore I couldn't like see and like, investigate what I wanted to investigate. For me, it's like, okay, would definitely go back to check that out, to do maybe more tests. Would you go back?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm already planning on going back to Coloma here very soon. And I would also like to go back down the Sapphire Mountain, get back up there. So yeah.
So the big question is, what did it all mean?
The meaning of it for me is simply that there's an existence of something out there that's a lot bigger and stronger than you or me. Bears don't have thumbs. They're not going to stuff around like that, nor would they even have a reason to. You know, it has to take some form of intelligence, a reasoning, and a thought process why they're going to make something for there to even be a structure. They're obviously an intelligent being, right? Most animals are food, sex, sleep, food, sex, sleep, food, sex, right? There's not really a whole lot more to them, right? That's their instinct. But if their instinct is community, individualism, creativity, equals intelligence. So if there's something in the forest building something, that's an intelligent being, right? Somebody might say, oh, well, beavers build dams. Yeah, they do, but it's an instinctual thing. They build those for shelter.
There's a reason.
Right, there's consistently a reason for what they do, right? Their instinct is to build that habitation.
So what would be your understanding of why Sasquatch or Bigfoot would be building these structures?
Entertainment purposes, several of them I think are entertainment purposes. Duke has found a teeter-totter. It is a giant log resting between two boulders, but it is perfectly balanced. So you could literally take two things of the same equal size and have a teeter-totter on a playground. Right, but it's a 2,000-pound log.
So do you feel or believe that it's all for entertainment or for other reasons?
Not all of it. I think a lot of it is territorial. I think a lot of the things that they create is signs of stay out, this is my territory. I think there are other structures that are kind of a roadmap, like turn right here to go somewhere, turn left here to go right. I think there are signs of pointing towards water, signs pointing towards shelter, signs pointing towards a specific sect or tribe. And then they put up these gigantic X structures, and I believe they are stay out.
So the X structures you believe are like, hey, stay out of here.
Stay out. They're not allowed.
Okay.
That's the territorial.
Interesting. Because we just went out on a recent investigation just yesterday, and we experienced some things. We did discover some leaning trees that I do want to, I on a scientific level, I do want to look at trees that are leaning over in a specific area in a certain way. I want to see like if there's a scientific explanation about those ones that we believe that were just naturally leaning over, but the way that we found them leaning over was still kind of interesting and weird.
Yeah, interesting because they're all leaning in this literally the same direction.
So if Duke's like, hey, that's not a structure, that's not about Bigfoot action, then why? Because going into these investigations, we want to lead with the most scientifical explanations and understandings, for the human brain to understand with our devices and measurements. So I guess researching what we're going out and doing outside of the paranormal realm, what could be the alternate explanation for it? Right. Because we're here for the facts and findings. So was there any creepy moments going out there?
Oh, yeah.
The creepiest moment for you?
There are several moments that make you think, oh my goodness, what is that? When we were with Jen on the initial investigation, we heard whoops coming from the forest, and we heard two tree knocks, two or three whoops. Two whoops. It might have been two whoops and two tree knocks. And I thought that was really interesting. It's like, well, it doesn't sound like elk. It doesn't sound like a coyote or a wolf or a mountain lion or a bobcat. All these things make interesting sounds in the forest and can scare the hell out of you if you didn't know what it was. But I've heard all those things, before. But whoop, the only place I've ever heard those are on Bigfoot expedition shows, right? Or like the Sierra Sounds from the 70s. That kind of stuff. So I'm like, well, that's interesting. I wasn't scared. I didn't feel any anxiety. I wasn't afraid of it. Jen got a little bit spooked, and she wanted to get back in the car and get the hell out of there. Which I don't blame her.
Those situations, I feel the unknown is more scary than the known. Right. You know what I mean? Right. It's new. It's unknown. That's scary.
Right. I wanted to walk out there and be like, who's making the noise? Hello?
What's out here?
Right. If you're a Bigfoot, can we just sit down and talk? Like, can we have a conversation?
Yeah.
Like, that's me.
Right? Like, what do you like to have for breakfast?
Right. Do you like, are you like a hobbit? Do you like double breakfast?
Right. You know, is a midday meal? Right. What do you like for snacks?
As long as
do you
I'm
snack?
not the midday meal, I'm good.
Yeah. What's your favorite meal? Not me.
Right.
That's understandable. You know, I haven't, you know, on this little past investigation recon that we did the other day, there was nothing like that I felt like off. And even in the moments that we did see stuff and we went out and captured, I don't know, whatever we thought we saw.
Right.
I haven't, even at Garnet Ghost Town, I've never been to the point where I'm terrified to where I'm like, we got to get out of here. So I fall back on any protection anytime I feel scared. I fall back on our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm like, hey, he's my protector. He's all of it, right? Like he is above it all. And in those moments, you know, even at the Deer Lodge prison investigation, those moments where I haven't had experienced a lot yet, but in those moments, I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ, you're awesome. You're here. He's right here. He's powerful. But so I haven't had those experiences as far as like creepy, and especially out in the woods. I'm very comfortable in the woods so far. So what next? So we just started this podcast where we're testing some stuff out. We got some new episodes coming up. Who just stopped? We appreciate everybody's support. What other episodes would you like to hear about? We like to talk about our investigations. We have some special guests coming up. So we would love to hear your feedback. We like to talk about our investigations because there's a lot that we can't really put on our investigations. I don't know how to edit them in. I don't know how to explain them without them dragging them out. So we like to do this podcast to explain our investigations and current topics. There's other current topics that we would like to talk about that are in the media.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now in our current situation.
Yes. So just let us know. Thank you so much for watching the Alternate Planes podcast. Do you believe in alternate planes? Is that how we end it? Let me see. I have like another piece of paper I have not looked at this entire time. Whatever's out there, we're going to find it. Until next time.
Do you believe in alternate planes?